Today, we are going to visit Utah Audio. Stay tuned. Dealer profile. Hi, this is Adrian Alexander with The Absolute Sound. Today, we're going to do something different. We're going to do a dealer profile, Utah Audio. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce you to the general manager of Utah Audio.
Hi, Adrian. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
How about a little bit of background of your experience in this industry and how long you've been with Utah Audio?
Okay. So I've been with Utah Audio about 8 years since I've moved here from Maine
Okay.
to Utah. I've been in the business maybe almost 20 years.
Okay.
I started in about 2008. I came into a business to help organize it and take it to the next level type of thing. And then the market crashed. A lot of people left, the business shrank, and I was handed a tool belt and said, go install. So I actually have been in the business from the ground up, which I think has helped a lot because I absolutely understand what it takes to get a wire around a house, what it takes to get a system in from every aspect. So
Nice.
I think that's helped a lot.
Very nice.
That's where it
Okay.
came from, yeah.
So I'm a customer for the first time. I walk into your store, which by the way, it's a beautiful store. I'm looking to spend between $5,000 and $10,000. Walk me through the process.
I don't talk budget usually right up front with people.
Because?
I just want to figure out what they want to do, and I ease into the budget question. Because I often tell people, well, first of all, people's budget kind of gets blown away when they come in here because their frame of reference might be Best Buy.
Okay.
And now they're seeing things that are way beyond that.
Okay.
And sometimes they feel uncomfortable, and I don't want that at all. So I just tell people, listen, you didn't really come in with a budget, you came in with a frame of reference. And that might be whatever, Bose for $3,000. And if you think that's the pinnacle of audio, you come in here and you realize it's not. So now $5,000 might be your next bump up. Or,
Well, I just bumped up my budget now that you just told me that's your approach.
right. So and that's just an organic way to do that. I'm not really trying to upsell people. It's just by virtue of what we carry higher end equipment.
I found this to be interesting when I walked in. You have a display of headphones, so it looks like you carry headphones. So basically you appeal to all demographics and all types of listeners.
We do, yeah. We had a lot of requests for headphones, so we did bring in a small display of that. We custom made this because we didn't really know how much we wanted to get into it, but we made a little display. That's been doing pretty well. So we can do, like you said, we can accommodate somebody from Sonos
Okay.
up to a reference Wilson Audio stereo system.
What are some of the brands, the headphone brands that you carry?
B&W, because we obviously carry the speakers. Grado, we thought that would be a nice kind of entry-level point, and then we have Focal as well.
You know what I noticed that's unique about Utah Audio is you also cater to the home theater enthusiast. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a small home theater here. We do have Atmos. It's a small room. But I actually find not a lot of people come into the theater room for demos, so we didn't really want to spend a lot of space for that.
Sure.
It's quite often a budget focus. So it's a really functional room, but it's small, cozy, and a lot of people, in fact, I just sold a theater yesterday that's going to be just exactly this size. He has a small room. So.
Great. Congratulations.
Quite often, a lot of our customers, since we're Utah Audio, we're somewhat stereo focused. They're a stereo customer, but also want to have a surround sound room. And a lot of people don't have two different rooms.
Okay.
So quite often, a theater becomes a stereo listening room and a theater room. And we cater to those people as well. We try to improve the front three speakers to be more of a stereo listening space, and then also a place to watch movies. So that happens quite a bit.
You have a bunch of other rooms. Here's another room. Why don't you take us down and show us what's going on downstairs?
Right, so this is the main salon, if you will, the main area. But then we have a lot of space downstairs that we're still actually just fleshing out, but we've got used and consignment gear down here. It's a little mixture of both. We're actually growing so much, a lot of some new product is down here as well, but we've got showroom demos, consignment, And we have 2 more bedrooms, kind of size rooms down the hall that we're actually starting to flesh out into listening rooms as well.
Okay.
Back when I was maybe in my early 20s, I really liked this world, but
Okay.
knew really nothing about it. I lived in Maine, so there was no options to see this world. So I traveled about 2 hours to a shop, and when I walked in, there were 2 people there who essentially leaned over a counter and looked at me and then leaned back. So I was kind of left on my own to roam around. And when I left, that's the same. I got no interaction the entire time I was there. And when I left, they did the same thing, leaned over the counter and leaned back. So 2 things. I never forgot that, how that felt, like I wasn't welcome there.
Wow.
And 2, I never forgot the sound that I heard between 2 speakers. As I walked by a particular stereo setup, I heard a stereo image, which I'd never heard before. Like everyone comments about sound coming from between the speakers. So that stuck in my head. I never forgot those 2 things.
So let's go back to, how did you build the business?
So yeah, I got here, I guess, 8 years ago, and we are like everybody else in the Valley. Automation, home theater, and stereo. And stereo was our differentiator, but we really wanted stereo to be our main focus.
Okay.
Also our main differentiator, for sure. There's no one else in the Valley that does this.
Real quick, was there any other brick and mortar 2-channel shops or stereo or shops when you got here?
Not really. I mean, no one that's really focused on it to this level.
Okay.
For sure. So we get a lot of people coming in here like they've seen a unicorn. They just are in awe that a shop like this exists.
I know I was.
Yeah, we love that. We love that we are a shop like that. It's really fun to do that. And we've been able to build a business over that amount of time. It's been slow. It's been difficult. But what we found is engaging with people in this space, getting them here to sit in the chair. We always say this is where it's at. Like doing print ads doesn't work. Facebook ads, none of that really works because you can't convey what it's like to sit in this chair in front of this system at all until you do it. It's a totally different experience. In fact, I've had 5 people, as of 2 weeks ago, 5 people have cried in this chair just doing demos.
See, now that's the cool thing about music and this hobby, because it's emotional and it brings you back. Occasionally, once in a while, I'll buy an album and I'll say, oh, I remember where I was at 18 years old when I bought this album. You mentioned Facebook and some of the other ways that it hasn't been real easy to advertise. Tell me about some of the ideas that you've come up with that seem to be working. Maybe some out of the box stuff.
It's been all out of the box, really, because what we really figured out is really it's just sitting in the seat. So getting people here, and we've done events like a cocktail night, and then we paired that with music. Did it with a group of watch enthusiasts. We had 60 guys in here.
Wow.
And I've never seen 60 people more crazy excited about what they saw here.
Is it okay to ask, because of that, were you able to sell anything?
Yeah, a couple, yeah. And it's
that was
also
worth it.
planting a seed. I also understand now this business takes a while.
Sure.
I've had people come in and say, you don't remember me, but you did a demo a year ago for me, and I've never forgotten it. And I've been saving up ever since. And they've come in with $20,000 to spend on a stereo. And that's really meaningful because I know that it had an impact when they initially came in, and it's lasted. All to say that sometimes it takes a while for that seed to germinate. This is a fairly high-end luxury product. Most people don't come in and just point to this and go, yeah, give me that.
Yeah. Who are some of the other states that you cater to that legitimately can come down and buy something because there's not a dealer in their area?
Most surrounding states, I think Denver, Colorado has some options, but Idaho, Wyoming, maybe Nevada, Arizona's got a great shop. But in fact, anywhere in the country, a lot of people come as tourists to Utah for skiing, and quite often I'll see guys coming in on vacation. I want to check out your shop. And if that happens, I can cater to anyone in the country, wherever they live.
So in some of the videos I've done, a big deal for me is customer service. So I come in, I'm a customer, you sell me a 2-channel system, and maybe even a home theater. How do I know, and what can you tell our viewers about the customer service and your staff?
Well, we're a small company. It's myself, and I have 2 installers, and one of them's part-time, so it's just basically the 3 of us. It's taken a long time actually to find great people, as most people with a business know. But I have great people now, and that's really made all the difference to help us grow and give us, well, we have a 4.9 Google rating.
Wow.
And that's legit. Like, we didn't buy any of those. So we're super proud of that, and that is all to do with my guys in the field. And we will be there as long as you want after the sale, as long as you need, for sure.
Good to know. So in closing, what would you like to say to some of our listeners about Utah Audio? Not a sales pitch, but maybe they're looking for a place to buy and they don't have a local dealer.
Yeah, it's just that everyone's welcome. That was my big thing, I think, coming in and starting this as how we want to develop a culture here. Everyone's welcome, because you never know, you're going to turn somebody on to something they never knew they'd be turned on to. Just be cool and be nice and have fun. This is really fun stuff, so we don't take it that serious. We try to have fun and try to get really good music in your house, and it's a lifelong hobby. So I consider a lot of my customers as friends. In fact, the only friends I have here in Utah are people I've met through work.
That's cool.
So it's really cool. And that's how we like to do things, and it's paying off slowly but surely.
Well, thanks. Thanks again for taking the time to walk us through and tell us a little bit about Utah Audio, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.